I just got to make sure the recording's on. Okay. Can you type in there to make sure my audio's doing good? Yes, thank you, TAE. Audio's good. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll get started. Hey, welcome to the American Contractor, the second live webinar in Dubai. Today's Monday, the 2nd December 2013. And we're going to end this at 9:30. I just appreciate your time and taking 30 minutes out of your day and night and spend some time with me. So what I did was there was, like I said last night, this is a new software that I've been trying to figure out how to use this. And it's excellent software. It's very superb, and there's a lot of features to this. So what I didn't realize there's a lot of questions, more than I saw in the window in the control panel. So what I did was I wrote down some questions, and I'm going to go ahead and try to answer them right here, and plus some of your questions here tonight, since now I know how to look at this. So let's get started here. Question number one from Todd. I hope you can see this good. It was said in an official CBI article on OneIraqDinar.com site that they was going to release the new currency in the beginning of 2014. Is this accurate? And they were able to do that? And if so, it was said by the owner of the site that they will have to RV before they could issue the new currency. And the answer to that is they don't have to RV before they issue the currency. They can just issue the currency. They can do it next month if they wanted to. I don't think it's printed. I don't think the new Iraqi dinar currency is printed. In fact, I confirmed that with several of my sources. It's not done yet. They haven't got to that step yet. So that's the answer to your question. Like I said, if you have any more questions, just go ahead and type them up in the question, and we'll get I'll get to them. Next question. Question number 2 is from Sadie. So you see no reevaluation in the near future, not in 30 days like all the gurus are proclaiming. No, I don't see any reevaluation in the next 30 days. I don't see anything like that until after the elections, if that was to occur. I've always said it's up to the Iraqi government. It's up to the central bank to make that determination. There's steps in process. Still got to get the parliament, the committees, the financial committees to agree on everything. But before they even do that, they have to get the security under control. Today they had major bombings today, and especially up north in the Salmania. So that's the procedures, that's the obstacles that they're facing right now. Plus, like I said yesterday, there is the terrorism, the money laundering they're worried about, the organized crime gangs that are, there is counterfeit Iraqi dinar in Iraq. So they have to counter all that, because if they do decide to do the exchange, the new currency, it's going to be very high tech security. That means very complex security, um, to facilitate to make that happen, because plenty of banks in Iraq, and they have to travel through all those different banks, deliver all that new currency, and it's a major deal, and they got to plan it out accordingly. Let's go to the next question. Number 3 from Christopher. What happens to the existing currency when new currency shows up? Nothing happens to the existing currency. They just coexist. If you look at the articles, the last since 2007, the Central Bank of Iraq has repeatedly stated that both currencies will exist, the new and the old, and they'll just filter the old currency out as they see fit. It's going to be a 2, 3, maybe a 4 year process when this happens. And just checking for the questions. Mike's a little pausy. Sorry about that. Hesitation's a little, but not on and off. I'm just reading the comments here. Okay, let's go to the next question. This question's from Victoria. Question number 5. I know that you are a contractor in Afghanistan, but can you confirm or debunk whether the contractors in Iraq are being paid in IQD at a rate of 344 USD to 1 IQD? Thanks, Victoria. The answer to this is contractors are being paid. It depends. In contracting world, it just depends on who you're working for, what type of contract it is. For example, if I work for the, say, the U.S. government on a U.S. government contract in Iraq, say the U.S. mission of Iraq, most likely I will be paid in U.S. dollars. Now, for the Iraqis, the Iraqi government has stated that all Iraqis will be paid in Iraqi dinar. So if Iraqi is working for a American contractor, American company, they'll be paid in Iraqi dinar. But then how does that process work? This is how the process works. The company gets paid, gets their dollars in, all right? Then they have to convert that dollars to Iraqi dinar because now they got to pay their local workers. So that's how that works. And that is a process. I mean, it's just you just don't walk into a bank and say I want dollars. It just there is a process. They're very cautious of money laundering and all that stuff. Uh, Hope I answered that question. Let's see, do I have any more questions coming in? Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 5 is from Ida. How many Iraqis turn in their currency for the debit cards? It sounds like it would be hard to, I think she said, operate without the cash from what you said last night. I have thought that when the currency, sorry about the misspellings there, currency revalues, it will be a huge security issue for the citizens as the government's addressing this situation. The debit cards, like I said yesterday and yesterday's last night's webinar, say I go to Bank of Baghdad and open up an account. So I present my passport, present my documents. This is who I am. I want a bank account. I want to have a bank deposit at Bank of Baghdad. They will issue you a debit card. It just takes a couple of weeks to get it. You'll get it. But the problem is that debit card will only work at that ATM that you wherever you opened your bank account at. And that's how it works. So if you went from you open up that bank at Baghdad, Bank of Baghdad branch, Bank One, Branch One, I mean, and you want to go to across town to other side of Sadr City and want to go to a Bank of Baghdad branch there, that debit card will not work at that bank. It's just the way it is. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere but that one branch that you signed up with your bank account with the Bank of Baghdad. So consider that problem. How I think it's hard to do any kind of transactions within Iraq from one city to another city, from one merchant to another merchant. They don't accept credit cards at all. No visas, no MasterCard. It's all straight cash. It's either US dollars or Iraqi dinar. And would they like between the two? Of course, everybody likes the US dollar over the Iraqi dinar. But both currencies are being used in country. And I hope I answered that question. Thank you, TAE, for your comments. Okay, let's go to the next question. From question number 6 is from Andy. What are the majority Iraqi people using the currency US dollar Iraq? Yep, I just answered that one. They're using both. They're pushing the Iraqi dinar. They do want the Iraqi dinar to be used, but it's a personal preference. People like the US dollar. And then it goes back to faith in the banking system, faith in the infrastructure. Um, why do I need a debit card when I can just go get my Iraqi dinar and my US dollars? Once the infrastructure and the software gets up to dated and the Iraqis get trained, it takes years to get trained on software. It's not as easy as I think it is. Think about the last 2 years ago when they said they would update their software to, payment transaction systems. That was 2, 3 years ago. Well, guess what? Today they still can't use it. There's a lot of infrastructure problems that they need to overcome, and they're doing it. It's just going to take a while. Today in Salmania, Salmania is just west of Kirkuk, about 100 miles. And I used to live there and work there back in 2004, and it's a very nice place. Back then, it was very quiet. I mean, the security was very. If you're a contractor, you're listening to this, you know that Salmania have been there. It was a very safe place, and now it's not. I know back in September they had an attack. Today they had an attack. Two Peshmerga officers were wounded. One was a brigadier general. The other one was another officer, I think a colonel. But this is not good. I mean, they're infiltrating their secured zones of northern Iraq. And in the article here, it says talked about Asaish, and that's the FBI, the FBI equivalent of in Iraq, the Asaish in the north. So and they're pretty scored away, and but they have some problems too. So that's just one instance happening today, and it's that's every day. And okay, I got a note here on my from TAE. Back to the question from Victoria. I forgot to say that soldiers are not being paid 345 to 1 dinar. That's just totally wrong, and I'm sorry I overlooked that question. There's like more than one question in one paragraph. I kind of skip one by accident. This is article today is 236 corpses of Kuwaiti citizens discovered in Iraq. Remember now when Kuwait was a major player in getting the Iraqi government off of Chapter 7. And the agreement was, hey, you're supposed to, help us find all our dead citizens in Iraq, Kuwaiti citizens in Iraq, because of the Gulf War. And they made the agreement. Now they discovered this spot of, dead bodies of Kuwaiti citizens, which is terrible. And I hope they recover them, identify every one of them. But there's also 5,864 missing Iraqis. So I hope they find them Iraqis also. But this right here, this article right here, is just going to create more rift between the two countries because Kuwaiti government don't like to see this, and the Iraqi government is probably saying, "Hey," because all the time they're saying that, "Hey, we can't find nothing. We can't find this." For years, if you remember, um, and now they find 236 corpses. So if they find this, there's probably a little bit more. And I'm just looking at my questions here. Okay, let's go to the next one. Iraq must look for a long-term solution. Just back to what I was saying. Let's read the first paragraph here. Once again, Iraqi security forces are turning to the nation's citizens for support. Last week, seminars are held with the cafe owners on how to identify suicide bombers following a surge of attacks on public offices, including cafes as well as sports stadiums and markets and mosques. They have to be a little more proactive, the security forces, in trying to capture these terrorist cells that are doing all these bombings every single day, because it works with the psychic of Iraq, the Iraqi citizens. They're not going to be able to, shopping, go out of the houses. I mean, there's a lot of Iraqis. I don't know if you know this or not. They're on prescription drugs. I mean, prescription drugs in Iraq is booming because of the conditions that they have to live under. It's very sad. Okay, next article. Kurdistan Prime Minister says final details of energy deal with Turkey as agreed. This is the deal that the Turkey government made with the KRG. And like I said, they set up a bank account in Turkey, and they're going to put all these oil funds from Iraqi Kurdistan to into that inside that Turkish bank. So it's creating a big problem with the central Baghdad of Iraq. The money should be going to a bank in Iraq instead of Turkey. But and you can see the problem. But Turkey is full speed ahead. They're going to do this no matter what the central government of Iraq and Baghdad say. So this is going to create a problem. And the Turkish government, they need energy, they need oil, just like everywhere else in the world. Any other country that has a growing economy, and Turkey definitely has a growing economy. They do over $10 billion a year in Iraq. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the control panel and look at the questions. Can I people make some comments about how this presentation is going tonight? A little bit different from last night. If you can comment, it's good or bad, or it's good information. Am I giving you value? I greatly appreciate it that you make the comments. Okay, while you're doing that, I'm gonna answer one question here from Marshall. Does the UST, I think you mean the U.S. Treasury, or the IMF have anything to do with any revaluation, or is it all up to the Iraqi banks and Parliament? And the answer to that question is it's up to the Iraqi government and the Iraqi central bank. Also, the Parliament is involved because they have to approve it. It's their money. So that's the answer to your question. Okay, what got a question here from Victor? What is petrodollar? Petrodollar is just what they call the buying U.S. dollars for oil. Just a term that the OPEC came up with. Okay. Is there any more questions from the control panel? Or maybe I'm missing some. Yep, I did miss one from Michael. He says, I know this article is talking about the $25,000 dinar coin will be worth $23. Would that be the same for the paper currency? And between Turkish, that the largest group of coins that are available now are 25,000 dinars, and the purchasing power does not exceed $23. So there is more of a proposal to the central bank to put coins larger than the existing, such as issuing currency up to 50,000 dinars. I know they're talking about issuing coins from the central bank, and the next time they print the currency, they need some coins because coins last longer. And every Middle Eastern country has coins, so I doubt that the next time they print the currency that they'll not print any coins. They're trying to get to the same level as all the other Middle Eastern countries. As far as answering your question, I'm gonna have to look into that a little further. I don't know where you're getting the $25,000 coin is worth $23. That's pretty high. Okay. Okay. Ron is asking, what is the attitude of the Iraqi government to people around the world speculating on their currency? They know what's going on. I mean, if they didn't like it, they can. There's actually, ways they can stop it. But they're fully aware that people have speculated on their currency, just as well as people speculate on the Dubai current, the dirhams. Everybody speculates on a lot of currencies around the world, so it's not really concern to them. Let's see. Okay, Victoria's asking another question again. What would you say to those people who are waiting for the 800 numbers this week to exchange their dinar? I have no idea what you're talking about, the 800 numbers. Is that like a telephone number? I mean, I don't know. Here's a question about Work a Bank. I have an account. Is by Nikki. I have an account at Work a Bank. There's no longer an option to wire money back to my U.S. account. Do you think that means I lost any money I put into the Work a Bank? That's a very good question. I mean, if you look back on a post I did, I would say a couple of months back, where the medical student deposited $100,000 in the Work a Bank, and he's wanted to go to medical school, and he does write to me several times, and he's unable to get his money back to go to school, go to his medical school, and it's very sad. I've been inquiring about this. What do depositors do to get their money back? Are they working it out or whatever? I don't really get an answer on that. They kind of like avoid the issue right now because it is a sensitive topic with the El Worka Bank and the CBI. But like I said last night, I do think they'll turn that bank around. They can't let that bank fail because the Iraqi government, the Central Bank of Iraq, cannot afford to have a private bank fail in Iraq. They just make themselves look really really bad, especially when they're seeking foreign investment into their country and they have a Iraqi bank that fails. I just don't see it happen. They're going to maintain that bank on life support and just continue on with their with their business. Yeah, Victoria, I'd like to know where you're getting that source from, the 800 numbers too. If you can type that in there, it'd be great. Okay, I got a question here from Wayne. What about the people say about Wells Fargo being ready to convert dinar at a moment's notice? I mean, it's up to the Wells Fargo bank if they want to convert dinar and accept dinar. That's up to them. But to my knowledge, Wells Fargo does not accept Iraqi dinars. Okay, Victoria wrote back where she got information. It was from TNT, Tony, Oki, Exogen, Mountain Goat, and Low Chin. I have no idea who those people are. It's another thing, if people aren't transparent and when they're talking to you and if they can't tell you who they are, where they're from, what their background is, like I have, you know, can you call up, let's see, Oki and Exogen and Mountain Goat? Can you call them up? They just hiding behind usernames and not revealing themselves. And who are these people? I mean, you got to be really, really careful where you get your information from and who you're listening to. I mean, I try to be transparent on my forums and on my website. You know who I am. I work in Afghanistan. You have my direct cell number. You can text me anytime you want. And you also have my email address. I did respond. You can ask anybody that's on this forum that if you text me, I've responded back. Or if you email me, I have written you back. And I challenge all those other gurus to do the same thing. And but I don't think it's going to happen. There's a question from Melanie. Those people are the intel about the Iraqi dinar, the ones who said don't listen to American Contractor. Well, thank you, Melanie. I appreciate it. But where's the credibility at? Who's the trust at? Is American Contractor more trustworthy and more reliable, or is this Mountain Goat and everybody else over there a little more reliable? I'll let you decide on all that. If there's any more questions, I hope raise your hand if I miss something. Um, okay, Michael here saying, what is the dollar worth to dinar now? You just have to go to the CBI website, and also there's two different rates. There's the official rate, which is from the CBI, and then there's the street rate, or the average consumer down on the street what they pay for, and it's always a little bit the spread's a little bit different. An individual, if someone says I bought my currency from the central bank, if he's an individual not representing a bank, that's not true. He didn't get his currency from the central bank. He got it from either a dinar dealer or the Iraqi bank. So that's how that works. There's an official rate, then there's another rate that everybody buys. Okay, yeah. Thomas is asking, what do you think the chances are for an RV of the magnitude suggested by many of the more realistic sites, i.e., $1.17 IQD per US dollar? Again, I don't have any opinion. I don't give any kind of information like that. It's just not good, and I would be doing a disservice saying those kind of things, to you all. So the best thing is just it's up to the Iraqi government. It's up to the Central Bank of Iraq to determine the rate. Like I said before, I don't think anything's going to happen until after the election. If anything does happen, everybody is on pins and needles. Everybody's positioning themselves for this election. Just a lot of things are going wrong. The security situation, the economics, the central bank is going to be making a lot of changes coming up in the next few months. So they're all just waiting on that. It's going to take some time. Okay, Anton is asking, as an American, are you received by the people in Iraq and Afghanistan? That's Let me read that again. As American, are you received by the people in Iraq and Afghanistan? I think we are. The common Afghan wants the Americans there, and the Iraqis, yeah, they want Americans to come back. Okay, Thomas is saying, thanks for the honest reply. It's much appreciated. Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Thanks for the question. Okay, that's all about the questions for right now. It's 6:26, and just want to just tell you my information, how to get a hold of me. It's ac@americancontractor.com. And you can also, like I said, send me an text message, to my cell phone at 931. That is a U.S. number, and it reaches me anywhere in the world, as long as I have an internet connection on my cell phone. And I do respond back, and people are shocked. I can't tell you how many times I get a response back from people and say, "Hey, I'm shocked that you're even responding. I thought you wouldn't never respond," and I do. Like I said, I'm more transparent. I'm accessible. If you have any questions about the Iraqi dinar or Iraq, anything Afghanistan, if job wise, whatever, just text me or send me an email message. I prefer the email message, but if you want to text me, that's fine too. And if it's any more questions, and looks like there's not. Oh, there is one more. Dan says, "Are they pulling the big bills off the market in the country? 25K, 10K, and 5K?" And the answer to that is no. They have not. They're still floating around. If you look at the currency amount in the CBI back office there in the Excel spreadsheets, they remain the same. Matter of fact, they're printing a little bit more currency. And why they're doing that is to control the inflation. So I hope that answers your question. And Andy says, "I appreciate you being honesty." Um, Before I end it, if it's 9:27 now, if you think this is a valuable information and the way that I present this information, the forum, the webinar, appreciate it if you go to the American Contractor website and just post in the comments or send me an email saying, "Hey, it was good," or send me a text that it was good and you'd like to see more of this. But this will be the last webinar for this week for the American Contractor. I am on vacation. There's other there's other projects that I'm working on that I like to pursue. I think this is a good avenue for webinars and talk to you all and present the information that I have. This will be a recording. This is recorded, and this will be on the website probably tomorrow. It does take me a long time to render it. These are big files. That's why I keep this at 30 minutes, because anything longer, the file is really big. But I appreciate you. And like I said, if you have any questions, want to get a hold of me, this is my contact information, ac@americancontractor.com. And you can reach me by text message at 931 444 7110. And thank you very much and have a great day.